evening. Good evening. My name is Annette. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Hi, Annette.
And as Randy said, I wasn't expecting this, but that's what my life has been for the last 63 years. Um, all I can say is I'm so grateful right now because 2 years ago I had to take my grandson, who is now 12 years old. And it's been 16 years since I've used, and it's been hard. And I've always had a friend at my side, Randy. I've had others in AA who helped me through it. A lot of praying. you know. I'm the youngest of six. There's a lot of alcoholism and addiction in my family. I fought hard not to do it, but things came up in my life that I had no other outlet but to use to grab onto something that just numbed me. All I can say is I'm grateful today, and that's what I'm going to talk about is how grateful I am because I could look at my grandson and he'll never see me use or drink. His mom is out there somewhere, I don't know where, and that breaks my heart because I feel I take the blame for that, knowing that she saw me go through a lot of that stuff. I have one that went to the right, and one went to the left. But I know in my heart, and I just pray over her that God will give her her way like He gave me mine. Everybody has a path to take, and nobody's to say when they get there. When they get there, they'll get there. Um, I knew I was finally finished when I saw that little boy born, and he had nobody else but me. And um, like I said, I'm so grateful. I'm almost in tears because I think about him. His name is Jaden, and I love him so much. And then I think about what my mom must have went through. All the years she fought and coming in, getting me out of the dope house. I'm afraid to admit that, but she did, and that was the mom. And she would cry sometimes, and I told her she should have let me go a long time ago. She thought she was doing the best thing. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, and I have to remember that when I'm raising my grandson. I'm not going to always do the right thing, and I have to explain to him, what I went through out there, and I'm kind of real with him. He knows what his mother's doing. He's not stupid, but I have to let him know that she will find a way out, and that she loved him so much that she made sure that she didn't let him see her like that. I teach him to always love her and pray for her and respect her because she's not respecting herself, of course. But I've always had somebody to love me and respect, showed me respect when I couldn't even do it for myself. That helps. Everybody needs at least one person by their side to help them up or just hold their hand and say, "You're not garbage, you're not trash, no matter what you do." And it's easy to say, "Well, God will get you through it and just pray." My mom would say that, and I'm like, I've done all that, and what? And I just had to do that inventory of myself. I stopped asking looking at what I was doing and asking, why am I doing this? Why don't I love myself? I'm worthy of it like everybody else in the world. So why am I thinking I'm not? But that's what the world can do to you. So to grab onto a substance is just saying that you're in pain and learning when to reach out and ask for help and coming into the rooms like this and just say getting up and speaking because I hadn't spoken in a long time. So, but that's life is unexpected surprises, and I'm just like, and it must be for a reason, that he's getting me up here. So just tolerate me for a minute because I don't know where to go with this. But I am going to keep saying I'm so grateful for all of you just being patient with me and being here and just listening with open hearts and arms. I'll always be here for you if you want. But it's scary. I think about where I'm going to go with this little boy, and I have a, a great friend over here that helps me through it. And he shows him the man side, the real man side. Now, he's a great example of a man, and that's what I can give him. I put him in the boys' club and do little things that I can do, what I know how to do. I can show him how to love and be a respectful adult, but I can't teach him how to be a man. And there weren't many men in my family, and the ones that were there were kind of abusive. Some have changed, some haven't, but I love them all still, and I've forgiven them all. And that's where it started too. I had to forgive them and realize it wasn't my fault. And as a child, I couldn't psychoanalyze them, so why should I, blame myself for understanding what they went through or, and why, but just figure myself out. And that's what I've been doing all these years. Um, I think I'm doing okay now, but it's still a long road. I, like I said, I'm 63, and I never knew I'd be raising a child at the age of 63. I don't have a lot, but I have a lot with him. And I look at him, and he's like, he doesn't even realize that we don't have a lot. He's just so happy when he comes home and sees me, and we bake cookies at night, or he helps me cook dinner, and he comes over and lays his head on my shoulder, or I'm in bed watching TV, he'll jump up on my bed and lay his head on my lap. And he's just crying for that nourishment from a mom. And I look at him with great pride because in school they said he's a wonderful young man. That came from somewhere, you know. So I'm there for him, and I'm learning from him like he's learning from me. And I had to check myself because it was hard at first for me to even hug him. And I realized, I'm fighting to hug my own little grandson. I mean, he knew I loved him. I would kiss him and talk to him and everything, but he wants to hug, and lay on me and everything. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm growing there. And to know somebody like a little child looks at you and they don't see all your faults. So I try to make sure because that's, once upon a time I looked at some adults in my life who weren't great, like the same way, like they were Superman or Superwoman, and come to find out they had quite a few faults. But for him to look at me and just think all is well, I said, well, I'm doing a pretty good job, I guess. So all I can do is show him my love and finally show myself some love and respect, and it feels way better, doing it this way. So I don't have a whole lot to say, but I thank God that I started on this road and that He's just helping me through it with friends and family that support me and love me and never turn away from me now, even knowing what I've done in the past. I had to forgive myself, and I finally forgiven myself, and that's where it starts, and that's where it's going to go. So, thank you.
Thanks, Annette.